Hey guys, it's Oni, and this won't be the kind of video that you guys are used to, but I'm going to be doing a different style of video. I know you're used to upbeat, funny VR videos, and those will keep coming, don't worry. But at the moment, I'm going to be talking about one of my most played games currently. Yes, Fortnite. I know a lot of you might not agree, but I believe that the game is quite fun. I don't like the current state that competitive is in, but we're going to speak about all that today. So the things that I'm going to go over: the current meta, current gun rotation, competitive, people that diss the game and complain that Sweat's ruined it, the map, and pros and their methods. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the current meta in game, such as right hand peaks, piece control, rotating, building, high ground retakes, and performance mode. Let's start with right hand peak. These are very important for the current meta, as most times you can get free damage off an opponent without them being able to do damage. They're really overpowered in some situations, such as if you've been following Nick30, he released a video about a peak where if you have a cone in the box, edit one tile, edit a left hand Dorito edit on a wall in front of you, and you can shoot somebody and not take even a little bit of damage. There's also the Nick30 Classic with the 90-degree ramp, which is currently his favourite move because it gives you that really overpowered right hand peak. You have the barrier of the stairs protecting you. So right hand peaks at the moment are the most OP things currently in the game. They're the meta. Then we have piece control. Piece control is important for finishing fights early. It's important for killing your enemies, catching them off guard. If they're trying to escape a box but you already own the pieces around them, they can't escape and you can get usually free damage off. You can jump around the box, you can edit from the top, bottom, sides, depending on how many pieces you've taken over. And 9 out of 10 times you piece control somebody, it will be a free shot and free damage off on them, winning you the fight most of the time. Now we're going to speak about rotations. Having a solid Fortnite rotation is usually key to being a high level player. The pros already have all of their loop paths, map paths, rotation paths all planned out before they even start to get into a tournament. Yes, the storm may not be in the same place every single time, so you'll have to adapt as the storm forms and the circle moves, but it's good to have a general idea of where you want to go once you drop. While there's probably an argument to be made for the order in which you might want to build or use certain items, Fortnite's rotation actually concerns your ability to find the most potential kills. When the vast majority of players talk about rotations in Fortnite, they're talking about the order in which you hit different points on the map, so you can get the most kills and so that you have a better chance of getting a victory royale, or in competitive, the most points. As many as you all know, there aren't exactly many skills to cycle through Fortnite. On the surface, it looks like just building and shooting are the only skills you need to master. But if you dig deeper, you'll find out that having solid rotations is what separates the bots from the pros. There are plenty of good reasons to get your rotation down in Fortnite. The big one though has actually got to do with making the game a lot more fun. If you're not following the right Fortnite rotation, you're going to spend the majority of your match stumbling around and hoping to find other players. Not only will this keep your kill count low and hurt the amount of XP that you earn, but it can leave you resource poor if you manage to get into the final circle of the map. If a pro starts having success by landing in a new area or spending their time in a new map zone, you're going to have to follow the leader, such as copying as the pros do. If their loop paths are working and they're staying out of fights, especially in competitive until endgame. People like Mongrel, they like to W key a lot, so they usually hot drop, or if they're playing with people like Mitro, he likes to think a lot smarter. The first thing you need to do when learning how to rotate is really determine your play style. If you're not really concerned about kills and you want to get to the endgame, try and play on the outside of the zone and the outside of the map. It'll keep you away from kills, it'll keep you away from conflict, and it'll give the best chance of getting that victory royale. If you're going for high kill games, you want to drop center zone, you want to be dropping high name locations, Salty Towers, Pleasant Park, they usually have 2 or 3 teams minimum that go there, and Lazy Lake, that has quite a lot of people that go there too. The best places to drop for low RNG and high kill games are about 1,000 meters away from the path of the battle bus. These places have good loot but fewer players. This will give you a very good loot path, it'll give you a lot of mats, and it'll give you less conflict. Now we're going to be talking about building. Obviously we all know that building is one of the most important aspects of Fortnite, seeing as the 2 aspects of Fortnite are building and shooting. Obviously they're not the only ones, but they're the main ones. Everything in Fortnite falls under those 2 categories, building and shooting. As for building, we've already spoke about some of the things that you can do. This kind of leads in with rotating. As you're rotating in, if you're getting shot at, or as pros refer to it, griefed, it's beneficial for both of you to rotate into the zone. So if you're getting shot at, just use your soft mats. Your soft mats is wood. So if you hear pros in competitive talking about hard mats and soft mats is wood, hard mats is brick and metal. You want to be saving your hard mats until the end of the game, until you're getting focused, so your structures have a lot more health. And then early game, you can use your soft mats like wood for rotating and taking early game fights if needed. High ground retakes. Now these are crucial for the competitive side of things, as you'll see in most competitive fights, you'll both try and get the high ground. In this case, you might want to piece control them, but at the same time, you might want to go for the high ground. If they have 2 or 3 layers above you, you might want to go for the high ground. Doing this, a lot of pros use high ground retakes, such as double, triple, quad edits. Sometimes they may use 90s, sometimes, most of them don't have a name, but I'm sure if you go onto YouTube, you can search up a lot of high ground retakes, and a lot of them are very easy to learn. Then there's performance mode. Performance mode is one of those things that if you're running on a low-end PC, it might be beneficial for you. You might be getting higher FPS, less input delay, less ping. However, if you're running on a higher-end PC, most pros don't like it, and neither do I. I'm not a fan of performance mode whatsoever. There's 2 types of performance mode, the high meshes and the low meshes. The low meshes are referred to as mobile build, and high meshes are referred to as bubble wrap builds. If you're on a lower-end PC, you might want to consider giving mobile builds a try. It'll increase FPS and maybe even let you get that 144 in creative. Second category that we're going to talk about, guns. Now the ARs in the game, there's currently the automatic assault rifle and there's the heavy assault rifle, or pros refer to it as the AK. The AR is a very solid gun. The stats of the AR, such as the DPS, the damage, all of that, for every rarity will be on screen now, and same with the AKs. The tactical ARs, they have a higher fire rate, they have just a bit less damage, and the damage drop off is quite bad. The only ways that you can get these guns at the moment is from killing IO guards. So if you're running around with a grey AR or grey AK, you can kill a few IR guards and get your team blue, or even sometimes in rare cases purple TAC ARs. The tactical shotgun, it hits like a wet lettuce, I'm not going to lie to you, Chief. Most times you won't hit more than 100 damage, but that high mag capacity of 8 shots and that high fire rate for a shotgun kind of compensates. The charge shotgun. Now, I know a lot of W keyers, and usually the Fragger have these in their loadout, like the charge shotgun. Sometimes an IG I might carry one as well. But I personally am not a fan of the charge shotgun. I'll tell you why. The charge shotgun requires you to hold it for 1 to 2 seconds. Now I understand that you can double click and it fires almost instantly, but clicking twice takes a lot longer than clicking once. That's common sense. It takes double the time. In high intense pressure situations, you need to be hitting shots instantly. You can't be waiting for your shotgun to charge or for you to double click. That is why I do not like the charge shotgun. For people that sit on height, not shooting shots, no console wars, I'm not that childish. However, it's usually controller players that use the charge shotgun. Why? Because controller players like to sit on height, like to hold their charge shotgun until they see even a fraction of your skull click on your head pretty much. Then we're going to be talking about the Dragon's Breath shotgun. Now this has got to be one of the worst guns in the game currently. I absolutely hate it. If you're lucky, it can one-shot, but you have to be right up in their face and hit every single pellet. Most of the time you'll be doing between 40 to 100 damage with it, and it takes 7 years to reload. Then we have the lever action shotgun. I think that Epic tried to recreate the pump, but a bit less powerful, which no one was a fan of. Everybody just wants the pump back, and I completely agree. I want the pump back. Who wouldn't want the pump back? We're just really hoping that it's coming back next season. That's one of the main reasons the pro mongrel is not liking competitive this season. He can't 200 pump anyone. Now people say, oh, 200 pumping doesn't take skill. You're wrong. Go in right now to creative, click on somebody perfectly in their head from point blank range. You will hit a 200 pump. Go to 2 or 3 meters back. Shoot them perfectly in the head, you will hit a 200 pump. Shoot them in the body, you will do a 100. Now, half of your reticle, put that on their head. Half of your shotgun crosshair. You'll not hit a 200 pump if only half of the shots hit. Therefore, it takes skill to hit a 200 pump, the submachine gun. Now, this gun, it's okay. It doesn't have first shot accuracy, unfortunately. I prefer this over the suppressed SMG because the spread on this SMG doesn't get as big, and it can range from, you know, grey all the way to gold from the P90, which controller players love. Suppressed SMG, it's one of those. It does about 12 damage, I think, and it can only go up to a blue rarity. Then we have the pistol. A lot of pros, like Mr. Savage M, have been using the pistol in scrims, which shows that it must be a decent gun if pros are using it. It does beam. I cannot lie, it has less spread than an AR, and if you can hit your shots, it can absolutely melt someone's HP. The gold one does 52 damage headshot, I believe, so you can 4-shot headshot someone. The Deagle. Now, the Deagle just recently came back into rotation after the Flintlock coming back into the game, being unvaulted. There was a lot of backlash from the community. Nobody really liked the Flintlock, and nobody really wanted it in the game. So Epic heard our cries, finally took it out and replaced it with a Deagle, which I haven't heard much complaint about. The bolt action sniper rifle. Now, this is not a bad weapon. I'm a big fan of the bolt. It can range from blue all the way to gold, and it one-shot headshots no matter which rarity, which is very nice. You can hit some very nice clips of it. It's one-shot round. The Mandalorian sniper rifle, it can, I think it has one shot. Yeah, it does 212 damage headshot, I believe. It has thermal vision, which is quite good for a sniper. It's a one-shot just like the bolt action sniper rifle. It is loud as hell. You can also use it as a melee weapon and like charge forward. People use it to rotate. The rocket launcher. Now, I believe that you kill Ruckus, or you could buy it from him. You either kill him or buy it from him, I'm not too sure. Ruckus is located at Hydro 12, which is just below Misty Meadows, just below the dam. Fishing rods. Now, these are kind of underrated, seeing as the new fish was released, the Vendetta fish. You need a pro fishing rod to catch these, and it shows you an enemy's location near you. It's pretty much wall hacks, honestly, on one enemy near you. If you eat it, it's pretty OP. And it heals for 40, I believe. No shields. Now we're going to be going over competitive. The current game modes in competitive are trios and solos mainly. There has been no duo cash cups, there's been no duo FNCS, there's been nothing to do with duos apart from the Valentine's events. That's it. Just been purely trios, purely solos, which I am not a fan of. I think that trios gets a bit too hectic, a bit too much to deal with, but that's just my skill level not being there, I suppose. And it's really hard to find a trio around your skill level that's going to be good for you. So I'm personally not a fan of trios, and I'd much prefer if they brought back duo tournaments. FNCS as well, that has been big this season. If you have not heard, Mongrel did not qualify for FNCS, which was quite funny. They were, I believe it was top 50 that qualified, and he was 51st. No fault of his own though, he would have qualified, but one of his games he got disconnected from the game, which is quite unfortunate, but what can you do? That man has over $700,000 in earnings on Fortnite, first party tournaments that is. He probably has hundreds of thousands more from wages, from streaming, from YouTube revenue, all of that. Number 4. We're going to be talking about people that disrespect the game and complain about sweats. 9 times out of 10, you'll see that the people that complain about sweats are the players that are not so good. Why do I say this? Because they want to drop into solos or duos with their friends to play some Fortnite. They get on, they're enjoying themselves, and then they just get cranked on. Some kid, he's quad editing, quintuple editing, tunneling towards them, full speed, ramp rushing them, and he's just there trying to enjoy the game. Fortnite is a competitive game. It has been for about a year now. There's been tournaments, scrims, hosted scrims, first party tournaments, third party tournaments. Always going to be a competitive game when a game has mechanics that require skill. The people that complain about these competitive players do not have the skill to keep up, and that is why they complain. If I needed to give a piece of advice to everyone watching this at the moment, improve yourself and get out of that mind frame that you're never going to be as good as them. That's what I had to do. I'm still not as good as pros, I will admit, but I am getting there. I am kind of subpar to, if you know Skippy on YouTube, he's a controller player, he clip bots from my school, he has 15k on YouTube and getting thousands of views on his video. If clipbotting gets you the views, fair play, he's earned on Fortnite, he has more earnings than me, so I can't exactly diss him. If he can play creative that well and tournaments, you know, it's usually one or the other, but with him, he's a damn good player, so fair play. Yeah, just get out of that bad mind frame. It's bad. FaZe Sway himself put out a tweet. The tweet says, "The downfall of video games started when kids complained about people being good at the game. I remember when I was a kid and I saw a Prestige Master in COD. I didn't tell him to take a shower or go outside. I sent that motherfucker a friend request." This is very true, because if I see someone, if I'm ever playing box fights, Clicks box fights, Phil, and I see a good player absolutely shit on me, I will send him a friend request just to say, GG, how did you get that good? What is your training routine? Ask him questions to make me improve at the game also. I want to become as good as that person. Let's go over the map. The current map it's interesting. The 0 point in the map, it's one of those. You can exploit it by keep going back through it and you just never take storm damage, which someone did in arena and in tournaments, and it is getting people points, so fair play, I suppose. I don't know what's going to happen with the map. I've heard that a leaker said that the old map was found back in the game files, which is interesting. Drop spots, we've got Salty, we've got Slurpy Swamp, Pleasant Park, Steamy Stacks, Hunter's Haven, which no one even goes to. There's not that many good POIs this season. Some underrated spots that I know that a lot of high-level arena players go to. Catty Corner. You get really easy challenges there for gold, and you upgrade your weapons as well. So you can get pretty much purple weapons, purple shotguns for your entire team. Another underrated spot, the Orchard, however you pronounce it. I'm going to say Orchard for now. The Orchard is a good spot for a duo. It's not really got enough loot for a trio or a squad. So I'd just say just stick with a duo or solo drop spot. It's not that popular. There's 2 NPCs there that you can get challenges from, Tomato and the Sunflower Girl. Tomato Man will upgrade your weapons, and you can get max. You can pretty much get max of everything if you follow a rotation path from Orchard up to the hill. There's another 2 chest spawns there, down to the other 2 chest spawns towards Risky, and then you can rotate over to Risky, and by that point you can just rotate into the zone and play the game from there, and you usually have max mats from that. Let's talk about some pros and their opinion on this season. Mongrel, he's a very skilled player, we all know that. He's one of the most skilled from the UK ever. There's Benji Fishy, Mitro. That trio recently split up, which was unfortunate, but they underperformed in one tournament, and that is enough to split up a trio. Just think about that for a second. They underperformed in one tournament. Now this is what they said. They underperformed. They did not blame one person for splitting up. They each took accountability for what they did, and each one of them knew that they were just their chemistry was gone, lost, disabandoned. Then there's Booga. Booga's been keeping to himself. Booga's been, ever since he won the World Cup, he's been doing amazingly. I feel like he's fell off a bit since the World Cup, but I feel like he feels he doesn't really have to try in tournaments anymore, and he's still winning money. So what if he's just too good for his own good, you know what I mean? Like, he's too good. He's on like another level. His mechanics, now this may be arguable. I believe that Mongrel has better mechanics than Booga. It's going to be controversial, I understand, but I do believe that Mongrel has better mechanics than Booga. It's Booga's game sense that wins him. He knows everything right to do. He knows everything about what the opponent's going to do. He knows exactly how to piece control them and everything else that we've been over in this video. Booga's just on another level, man. But I more follow Mongrel than Mitro and Benji and all that. I more follow them when it's coming to the competitive side of things, because I don't like just sitting in a box all game. I like W-keying kids. I like getting the limbs. That's fun. Not sitting in a box, that's not fun for me. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. If you made it this far, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn those post notifications on, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.